Alright. Okay, I've never done one of these before, but we're here now, we're doing it. Um, Hello everybody, anybody who's watching. My name is Jack. Um, I quite like watching tier list videos, and I love watching TV, I love watching films. Like, one of my favourite shows ever is The Walking Dead. So I thought I might do a tier list video on characters from the Walking Dead proper, the main show. None of the spin offs, although I'd be happy to do a few, but none of those. Although, actually, are there some from the spin offs? I don't think there are. Either way, as you can see here, I've got the tier list itself, the categories. I've got my favourite characters. This is, you know, the US tier. It's my personal S tier. Of course, this is all opinion based. I don't have to explain that. This is my personal S tier. All of my favourite characters. These are characters that I genuinely find are great. They might not be favourite characters of mine, but I think they're well written, or they're well acted, or they're just good characters, or great characters in general. Because then I've got ones that I just think are good. I don't love them or anything, but I just think they're good characters. I've got characters that are meh, sort of. They're okay. They're a bit average. They're not bad characters per se, but I don't have much to say on them. I guess I don't have. It might not be that I don't have anything to say on them, but I don't necessarily have any negativity towards them. Whether that be a character I have negativity for in the story, so I guess we'll move on to bad here. Um, Bad is for characters. I guess it's how you determine it, right? Because, for example, I see here Ed. From the first season, Carol's husband is a wife beater. I wouldn't say he's bad in the sense that he's not badly written, he's not badly acted, but he's bad. You know, he's clearly a bad human being. He's an antagonist. Um, so, would I put him in bad? Would I put him in meh? Because he's not in much. He doesn't have much to go with. I don't know. And then we got who? Because I've watched this show a lot. I've done a couple of rewatches over the years. I don't necessarily remember everyone. I mean, I might surprise myself, but we'll find out. But we're just going to start here. This is just a random person's tier list on tiermaker.com. Um, I'm guessing it's this person, Cosmo Cosmos 2 on tiermaker.com. I guess we'll start, shall we? I mean, I guess we'll go for number one, Tyrese, played by Chad Coleman. Tyrese. I have come to appreciate this character on further rewatches. I'm currently rewatching season 5. Um, I will say, for some reason, if you're watching this and you haven't watched The Walking Dead, this video is going to be full on spoilers. Just full on spoilers. So, spoiler alert, Tyrese dies in season 5. Um, he was going through this character arc where he lost someone he loved, he went crazy, and then he was very scared in himself that he was going to go back to that place. And he was just about mellowing out a bit, but he never quite got there. And then he was bitten and then he died. Yeah, I like Tyrese. I think he's a good character. I don't love him. He's not a favourite. I'm not apathetic about him. Don't think he's bad. And I remember who he is. So I think he's a good character. And yeah, I remember being quite sad when he died. Next up, we have Merle Dixon, played by the legendary Michael Rooker. I think this is a bit of an easy one. Merle was always a favourite. Not, I've just gone back on what I said about favourites. He's not an all-time favourite of mine. I love Mel. I think he's a great character. Um, Terrible human being, but in terms of a TV character, and I suppose we should make that um, distinction. To be honest, a lot of these people are not nice people. I mean, even Rick is not a good person, really. Not at all times, I should say. He's definitely got his moments where he's just pure. Not quite you, but look, I'm talking about them in terms of TV characters. I don't think it needs to be said that I like Merle as a person. He's a racist. He's a misogynist. He kills people. Blah blah blah. I understand that's very bad in real life, but in terms of a TV show like The Walking Dead, he was entertaining. He was amazingly written. He was amazingly acted. I just think, and he's quite an iconic character for The Walking Dead. And it's a shame he had to die in season 3. This person, I don't remember. I recognise her face. Okay, just looking at my phone. She's Karen. She was in season 3 of The Walking Dead. She is the one that Carol kills. Is she in season 3? She's definitely in a bit of season 4. Carol kills her because her and another lad are infected with the flu that overtakes the prison. Oh, that's right. She was a former. She was at Woodbridge, so yeah, she is in season 3. She's basically just plot for Tyrese, which is not a great thing. She's a bit of a nothing character, so I guess she's meh. Yeah, I would say she's meh. She's not bad. She's just sort of there when she's used as fuel for Tyrese. Um. Oh, little Judith. I mean, what is there to say about Judith? I'm going to ignore when Judith was a baby, from season 3 to the beginning of season 9, I suppose. Judith becomes a character, like an actual character with lines in a story, in season 9. Can't remember the actress's name. She's called Kaylee something. Kaylee Fleming, maybe? Um, she would have been very easy to write as an annoying child. So many shows like this bring in children in later seasons, and you just want them to get off the screen. And I think maybe people do feel this about Judith, but I don't. I think this young woman is a fantastic actor, and I think Judith was written very well. She's very innocent as a child, she's very childlike, but you can tell she's grown up with Michonne, however you want to say it, Michonne. Um, she's got a lot of Carl in her, got a lot of Rick in her. Her reunion with Rick and Michonne at the end of The Ones Who Live was very gave me tears. Let's say. I think Judith was a very well written character, all in all, for the last 3 seasons. She was on like an actual character in the show. I'm going to put her as Love. I think she's great. I think she really is great. This guy, I remember in season 1, it's revealed that his, you know, quote unquote thug gang are actually looking after a nursing home, which was a fun little twist. But, like, I remember who he is, so he's not who. Not bad. He is. Meh. Remember this guy, Dr. Milton from Woodbury, in season 3. I don't have much to say on him. He was sort of good fodder for the governor. Is that right? Yeah, he's fine. T-Dog. I know the fandom have a thing for T-Dog. He was a he was kind of a nothing character. Like, did he have more to do in season 1 than season 2? He might have done, because in season 2 he's in the background a lot. Season 1 he was actually doing things, you know, with Rick and Glenn and Daryl and stuff. I like T-Dog, don't get me wrong. I think he died earlier than he needed to. I don't know if there's any sort of like back, behind the scenes sort of business with his death, like there was for like Dale and Laurie and stuff. But this might anger a lot of Walking Dead fans. I think T-Dog's just pretty meh. He didn't have a lot. Like, I'm gonna put him up here. Like we'll put him at the top of here. And you know what? He might even go up to the bottom of good, depending on how we go. Oh, so that's a good point actually. Are these going to be ranked in and among themselves? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the twist of this guy more than whatever she was doing. Next up is Sasha. Sasha, I think Sonequa Martin Green is great. I think he's great. She's great. Sorry. I never liked Sasha, though, or Sasha. I never liked the character. I think after Bob died, and obviously her and Bob were an item, season 4, beginning of season 5, they never gave anything to Sasha that they never gave her any hope. Her boyfriend died, her brother died, she had a mental health crisis. She got with Abraham for some reason. Abraham died. She went on a suicide run against the Saviors. She died. And I'm going to be quite frank. I got bored of her being downbeaten all the time. I understand this is a zombie apocalypse and you are probably going to be downbeat most of the time. I think this is my first bad character. Sasha had all the potential in the world to be good, great, favourite. I just didn't like her. This was all just personal opinion. I totally understand why people might like her, but I just don't. This guy, he's called Tiny, or Big Tiny. He was in the prison when they first get to the prison, one of the inmates. I mean, meh. This is one of them too. He is called Oscar. He joins the group for a bit, I believe. I know he dies in Woodbury, but he does join them for a bit, the main group. He was cool, and I actually wanted him to stick around. It's the same with this Axel guy. I wanted both of them to stick around. I thought they had a fun dynamic with the group. I thought the actors were pretty, good, charismatic. I'm going to put Oscar here. I mean, he's not quite. I feel like this tier list, and I could be wrong, is going to chock up with people. Excuse me. And I just can't spare the room. Beth Green. I hated how Beth died. I hate it every time I watch it. It was fucking stupid. I quite like the 1-2 punch of her dying and then Tyrese dying in the next episode. Didn't mind that as a sort of sort of story structure for this show. But Beth. Again, this might be another unpopular opinion. That episode with her and Daryl after the prison force. Is it called Still? I don't like it. I don't like her in it. I think that episode is a skippable one for me. However, I do like Beth. I liked her in the hospital with the weird hospital thraldom slave indentured servitude thing. And I liked her before that. Yeah, I think Beth is a good character. Carl! I'm going to put Carl up here. Speaking of deaths that annoyed me, Carl. Carl should have been at the end of the show. He should have survived to the final with his sister. Finale, sorry, with his sister. And he should have been reuniting with his dad and his adoptive mum. But I think backstage politics, if you like, contributed to him dying. I don't know how true it is. But I remember reading at the time that they didn't want to pay Chandler Riggs an adult's fee. So they killed him. And I really hope that's not true, because that's really shitty. But Carl, Chandler Riggs was growing as an actor. You could tell. I mean, he was growing because he became fucking 7 feet tall. But as an actor, he was growing. Every season, he was getting just a bit better and better and better. And I don't feel like they ever gave him a fair chance to really, like, you know. I don't want to put love, because Carl is not. I don't love his character. I should have loved his character by the end. And what I mean by that is, again, he should have survived till the end. Next up, we have. Oh, Morales, that's his name. He was in the first couple episodes. He leaves, and then for some reason is in an episode in season 8. Is it 7 or 8? And Daryl shoots him in the back of the head, and that's it. I think him and Rick have a bit of a standoff, and he's like, "Yeah, what do you think? We're friends just because we survived for a bit." Like, yeah, Rick kind of saved your life. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Morales is a kind of pointless character, and they didn't need to bring him back. I would say bad. Jim's not the first major death on the show, is he? That might be Andrea's sister. But Jim's the first character we see turn into a zombie. Is that right? He's the first actual he's the first actual character we see turn. And he had quite an emotional I guess send off. So that works in his favour. Sorry, my brain just froze there. That works in his favour. I think because he had a very memorable death, I will put him there. I mean, Michonne, where else is she going to go? This is not an unpopular opinion when I say Michonne fucking rules. She just rules. She's one of the most consistently well written characters in the show. She's given some of the best stories, some of the deeper stories in the show. Right up until the end, right up until the ends of Once You Live. Like, I think she's great. She's an easy S tier, easy favourite tier of mine. She won't be the only one up there for long, I'll tell you that. Next up, we've got Shane. Oh, excuse me. Next up, we've got Shane. It's crazy when you think about the length of the show, let alone the franchise, let alone the main show. You've got Fear the Walking Dead, you've got Daryl Dixon, Dead City, Once You Live, any of the spin offs they've done. Shane is one of the most memorable characters out of the whole franchise. And he was only in it for like 14 episodes. But he made his mark, didn't he? He really made his mark. Shane's great. Jon Bernthal's even better. Sophia, oh, they got these two together. Now, Sophia, she's not really a character, is she? She didn't really have many lines. She might have had like 5, if that. She was mainly just a plot device for Carol. Plot device for season 2, really. She's got a legacy on the show because Carol still lives, and Carol still, every once in a while, they write in that Carol's dealing with her death. So Sophia's not a bad character. I remember who she is because she's got a legacy. But she'll go down here. She'll go there. Carol, I said Michonne wouldn't be on her own for long. She's there. She's S tier. She's been S tier since, oh, I don't know, season 4, maybe? Season 5, maybe? You know, the intro to season 5, many people's favourite episode, the premiere. Carol, like, from that point on, she's Carol. And it's just, she's one of the best written characters on the show. Melissa McBride is a fantastic actor. She continues to be awesome in Daryl Dixon, the show, which, as of yesterday, season 3 just started, just to date this video. But Carol's great. Like, when I think of The Walking Dead, my mind immediately goes to Daryl and Carol. I know other people would say Rick, and my mind does go to Rick too, obviously, but people might even think Negan, people might think Michonne, but my mind goes to Carol and Daryl. Next up we have Martinez, the governor's right-hand man, I'm guessing. I don't really know his sort of walking weapon. I mean, he's fine. Not great. Sort of at the similar lines as that. This guy was called Axel. I remember him being really surprised when he died. I think he just gets sniped. He's out in the prison courtyard. Gets sniped. I guess by the governor himself or by his men. And Carol uses his body to shield. I wanted him around longer. I did. But I'm just going to put him next to his cellmate there. Him and Oscar. This guy. He was season 2, right? Don't remember his name. Was he Beth's boyfriend? Or was he Beth and Maggie's younger or whatever brother? I remember Maggie talking about how Herschel had more than one wife. I think Maggie and Beth are half sisters. I literally don't know who he is, so he has to go there. He's got to be the first one. Dr. Gianna has a legacy on the show. Was obviously only in one episode, although he does appear. He appeared in, like, is it the Amazon show, The World Beyond? That's right, isn't it? I don't know if it's old footage or they got him to do it again. But he's sort of nothing, right? I'm just going to put him here. Jackie, I remember her, same thing. I'm just going to put her there. Ed, just like I was saying earlier, Ed is I'm gonna put Ed in. I'm not gonna put Ed and Sasha in the same. It's for different reasons. Sasha, because I thought she was poorly written. Oh, I think that's going to be an unpopular opinion. And Ed, because he's. Where do I put him? I can't put him in anything but bad, can I? He's not meh because he evokes such a strong reaction. Like, because of who he is, what he did to Carol and Sophia, and the things that I hinted at what he does to Sophia. Like, it's not just meh. Do you know what I'm going to do? Add row below. I'm going to put him in his own tier. Because I can't insult Sasha, even Morales for putting him in there. Andrea, though, I am going to put in bad. Andrea was a poorly written character. I feel like she was almost written to piss off the audience. I don't think that's true. And in fact, we'll come up to someone in a minute who I think the same of. But she was badly written. She had redeeming qualities and almost redeeming story in season 3. And she had a heroic death in season 3. But what really hurts is, and this is not a tier list that has anything to do with the comic books at all, but I have read them, and Andrea is a fantastic character in those books. She's basically, if people don't know, it's not a complete one-to-one parallel, but what Michonne is in the show is basically what Andrea is in the comics. This guy gets Rick's machete to his face. I think he was called Tomas. I mean, he's meh, isn't he? He's more interesting than that guy. He's more interesting than her. He was more interesting than him. I'll put him along the same lines as Martinez. That's fine. Herschel's a favourite of mine. I thought Herschel was an absolute beacon on this show. Had a huge, I think, in my opinion, that's why he's up there that high. Has a huge legacy in the show. Like, he was a favourite of mine as soon as he stepped into the show in season 2. I mean, he only lasted 2.5 seasons. That's kind of crazy. And a lot of these, you're going to say the same. I'm going to say the same, but we'd all say the same. He didn't last very long and such a huge legacy. It's similar to Shane in that regard. But Herschel was great. I really loved his little arc in season 4 of him trying to contain the flu. Maggie was sick. Everyone's kind of scattered doing their own thing, can't get back. Herschel was fucking holding down the prison. Yeah, I love Herschel. He's great. Laurie. Well, similar to what I said about Andrea, Laurie feels like she was written to piss off the audience. I don't know if she was. And I don't know if it. Maybe I can get some opinions on this. So if you're watching this and if you get this far, please let me know. Do you think Laurie was badly written in general, or just like a badly written character, or was she a character written with certain flaws? Certain flaws in which the audience is automatically not going to like her. Can I make that clearer? Was she a badly written character that the writers intended the audience to like still, or was she written with the intention of having character flaws that the audience are going to disagree with? Because I'm not sure, but I'm still going to put her there. Above Andrea or not? No, I'll put Andrea above. Andrea has a good end to season 3, and in fact, Sasha will go above all of them. This guy, he had a bow. Him and Martinez left. The governor, after Woodbury fell, don't remember his name. He's got to go there. Daryl Dixon, as if I have to explain this to anyone, just going up here. I'm going to put him at the top. I'm going to put Carol there. Yeah, that works for me. Daryl would have been such an easy character to... how do I phrase this? It would have been very easy for the writers to have Daryl be the same throughout the entire show, right? When season 3 comes along and he's now, part of the family, he's now all buddy-buddy with the rest of them. From that point on, he could have just been Daryl, right? But he goes through some good stuff, man. His story with his brother in season 3, the stuff with Beth and him coming to terms with Beth, having to deal with Beth dies, settling into Alexandria, but basically being Alexandria's Superman. Raising Judith and RJ when both of their parents are gone. I also really love, and this is about the main show, but I'll include it. I love the Daryl Dixon spin-off. I think it's fantastic. Season 1 was might be my favourite Walking Dead there's ever been. It's up there. In fact, I might do a season tier list of all the shows. Season 2 was pretty good. Season 2 was good, but it wasn't amazing like the first one. And I'm hoping season 3 goes up there with the first season as well. So yeah, Daryl's there. Next up we've got Dale. Dale was great, and he should have lasted longer. I believe it was a backstage politics thing that had him saw his death. I believe it's because AMC got rid of Frank Darabont. But maybe, ironically, I don't know, I'm going to put him next to Shane. Shane's giving him the... the Governor. The first major human antagonist of the show. And he has such a huge legacy because of it. The Governor was so well written and so memorable. And in fact, I don't know if this is a controversial opinion, but the 2 episodes that focus on him in season 4, I really love. And I've watched quite a lot. So yeah, I'm going to put the Governor up here. Yeah. Otis, Superman's dad. Well, if you don't know, he plays Pa Kent in the new James Gunn Superman film. Yeah. He's alright. He's pretty good. I liked him at the time. Shane killed him because Shane's a bastard. Glenn. I don't really need to explain this. Glenn was the heart of The Walking Dead. I actually think Daryl is overall, but from season 1 to season 7, beginning of 7, Glenn died. Glenn was the heart of it. He really was. I think, yeah, he's not a favourite of mine. Glenn was never a top tier character for me. I loved him. I thought he was great, and I Never despaired when he was on screen. But I was not one of those people that stopped watching because Glenn died. Um, I have thoughts on people that did that. I think that's a little pathetic. To hold your entire fandom on one character is a bit odd. It sort of discounts the work of everyone else working on the show, but whatever. I'm not judging. I am judging. I just said it was pathetic. But yeah, because it was his comic death, I guess I was prepared for it. I knew it was happening, and I didn't necessarily expect them to deviate from the comics. I guess they did because they killed Abraham at the same time, but um, I, yeah, Glenn should have lived longer. I think if they'd have killed him in season 9 or 10 or something, I don't think people would have complained as much. They could have just killed Abraham in the Negan lineup. They could have just done that, and it would have been absolutely fine. It would have sufficed. Um, this woman. Oh, she was Otis's wife. I don't remember her name. I don't remember her doing anything. I'm assuming she died when the farm burned down. You're going there. This is one of the prisoners. Wait, is he the one that lets all the zombies in? He like runs away, right? And then I don't know, whatever. Amy, that's Andrew's sister. I've had time to think about her name. Amy, she's the first character we see die, right? She dies in like episode 3 or something. Um, she must be the first character we see get bitten. She must be. She's got a legacy because of that. If I'm remembering that correctly, she definitely has a legacy there. But like, she's in 3 episodes. She didn't really have much to do. So like, no, she's not bad. I'm gonna put her there. Oh, that's the wrong spot, and my laptop's decided to unplug itself. Put her there. Morgan, the man who ruined Fear the Walking Dead. No, that's not true. The writers ruined Fear the Walking Dead. Um, I am somewhat of a Morgan apologist. I really like Morgan. I also think I really like Lenny James. He's on a fantastic TV show in Britain here called Line of Duty. He's great in that. Um, but I always thought Morgan was cool. I quite liked his All Life is Precious thing. And then I also quite liked John Wick Morgan in season 8 when he just goes a bit berserk. I didn't hate him at first in Fear the Walking Dead. I thought he was fine in that show, although it did just become the Morgan show, unfortunately, at the expense of pretty much most of the original cast. I remember there being one really good season of Fear the Walking Dead. Was it 6, maybe? I never watched season 7 and 8, so it could be 6. I remember Morgan building a community or something, and it was genuinely really good till it wasn't. But I do love Morgan. I digress. I'm gonna put him next to Glenn. Ricky Dicky Doodah. Richard Grimes. Fuck me. My laptop keeps unplugging itself. Sorry. Ugh. Rick Grimes. I'm doing stuff, Laurie. Thanks. I mean, he's a favourite. I don't know why I was thinking about that. I was just trying to think of something to say. I might put him there. The show sorely missed Rick. I thought The Ones Who Live was really good. Maybe a bit rushed, but I did think it was really good. And I thought the main show did miss him. You know, his absence was felt. But I'm also a season 9 and 10 Walking Dead fanboy, I suppose. I think the Angela Kang years, Angela Kang was the showrunner at that time, were pretty damn good, and she injected some life into a dying show. Um, I thought Angela Kang did a lot to make up for Rick's absence. You know, these guys sort of took over as main characters. The Whisperer stuff was great. All of that. I don't need to. I'll get to that with certain other characters, but um, yeah, I I want to see a season 12. I don't want to see a 16 episode season 12. If we get 6 or 8 episodes after this Daryl show's done, after Dead City's done, and everyone can come back for one last mini series of a season 12, I'd be quite happy. Maggie's next. Maggie's a good character. I'm going to put her here. For me, Maggie suffers a bit like Sasha does, where after Glenn died, um, the writers never really gave her much that wasn't to do with sobbing over Glenn's death. They could have done a lot more to make her feel a bit more. I mean, obviously, you do the grieving storyline, and you know Glenn's legacy will always live on, but they could have done more to how her as a transition her into a bit more of an independent character that's not so dependent on another character's sort of memory. And because of that, I think Maggie sort of suffered for a bit. I know a lot of the fandom were a bit annoyed of, here comes Maggie shouting at Negan again, and here comes Maggie. I don't want to keep saying being moody because it sounds sort of rude, but all of these characters have been through stuff. Not all of them have bad atmosphere when they're on screen, and I always thought Maggie did. However, her stories, which are still going, were enough to keep me invested compared to Sasha, who had a bad atmosphere on the show, and her time on the show ended in a bad atmosphere. If that makes sense. This is Morgan's kid. Don't remember his name. Oh yeah, this little psycho called Lizzie. Lizzie and Mika. No, I mean, she's in one of the most memorable episodes of the show. She's in one of the most memorable moments of the show. Look at the flowers, Lizzie. Um, yeah, she's fun. I don't think she's a good character. Yeah, no, maybe she is. Yeah, she's certainly more memorable than those two. I'm going to put her there. Why not? Rosita. I never. Rosita never clicked with me. She's not a character I love. She's certainly not a favourite of mine. I was very sad when she died in the finale episode. Um, she was around a lot. She had a lot to do. She was a good character. I'm going to put her there. I remember this crazy woman. she called Clara? She was Irish. I remember that. Rick finds her in the woods in the season 4 premiere. I don't know why I'm saying premiere. We say premiere here, but whatever. The season 4 premiere. She tries to feed Rick to her boyfriend, who is a snapping head. um, eh. She's more memorable, more memorable, more memorable. I put her there. Eugene. Um, that was a pro wrestling reference, if anyone got that. Eugene. And I'll talk about this more in a minute, but Eugene had a glow up across the show. When did he join? Season 4? He lasted right to the end. Who'd have thought he'd last to the end? Actually, if you read the comics, I guess you might have known, but they still could change it. I remember lots of people wanted him to die during the Savior Wars. I didn't. I thought Eugene was great right through to the end. I'm going to put him there. No, I'm not. I'm going to put him there. No, I'm not. I'm going to put him there. This is something to do with Tara, right? This girl's in the Governor episodes. What's her name? The Governor uses Tara and her sister. Yeah, these two. Yeah, well, we know who Tara is, but I guess she's meant to be like a surrogate for the Gov's daughter. But who knows? And you know what? I'm gonna put her mum there too. Father Gabriel. Now I just talked about a glow up. Father Gabriel was a creepy, sketchy, God fearing weirdo when he first joined the show. And then people hated him because he snitched on Rick. And then people loved him because he protected Judith. And then he just kept building and building and building and building. He became a father, a husband. Was he a husband? I don't know. But he became a father, a family man. He became a priest again full time, a community leader. People might have it. Yeah. His relationship with Rosita was odd. It was an odd choice. I never hated it personally. People didn't like it because they thought it was odd. But I actually dug it. I thought it was alright. I mean, Rosita and Gabriel had known each other for, what, 10 years? You know, they were clearly friends. They had been through a lot together. They obviously knew each other quite well. They lived near each. They lived in the same settlement as each other. You know, it's not out of the realms of possibility that these two would get together. It did just feel a bit odd and sudden. But Gabriel, Gabriel's up here for me. I think he's great. Mika. Not as memorable as her sister. I guess it's her sister, is it? To be honest, she's in she's in a memorable episode, but she doesn't have. She's not the memorable one from it. It's her sister and Carol and Tyrese. I guess I'm just gonna shove it here. Tara. How many more have I got? Quite a few. Tara. Somewhat of the comedic relief. And similar to the Laurie thing, I can't tell if she was written with the intention of being funny or if the audience was supposed to find her awkward. Because I just found her awkward and not funny. She had some great moments in the show. I wasn't particularly sad when she died. Um, Tara's a meh for me, but she might go at the top. I will say, after she died, when did she die? Season 9? I didn't think about her again. I don't think she left much of an impact on the show compared to some other characters who died of her, kind of standing. I think Sasha's more memorable, for example, and I think Tyrese is more memorable. So that's what I'm going with. And I remember this woman just because I've just watched her little story in season 5, Officer Dawn. Now, I remember when I first watched this show, when this episode was coming, I remember being confused in these episodes, Beth's hospital episodes, because the characters kept mentioning Officer Dawn. And in my head, Americans say Dawn and the name Don, as in Donald or Don, the same way. Officer Dawn. Officer Dawn. I expected a typical police chief man mustache, you're off the case, kid, kind of thing. And then this vindictive woman turned up, who she was a fine antagonist. She had a weird relationship with Beth, but it was quite interesting. I don't appreciate her weird indentured servitude run hospital though. That's very bizarre. But overall, I think she's pretty meh. Oh, this guy, Claimer Joe, part of the Claimers. Not the Proclaimers, although they might have walked 500 miles. Daryl meets up with these guys after the prison collapses, after Beth is taken. This is the leader of the guys who Rick has to hide from. Rick bites out this guy's throat, doesn't he? That's this guy, I believe. I also remember this actor because he's also in Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, I like this guy. I don't think he's particularly a good character. He's not in much. I would say maybe here. And I did say now we're on to the second row here for this tier. Gareth. Again, I'm in the middle of a season 5 rewatch. And, well, also the end of season 4 I watched too. Gareth is basically the second main villain, right? There's I guess Shane. I guess you can say Shane is. But if we say the governor is the main villain, the first one that the group comes across, then I guess Terminus and Gareth are the second main. I don't know. I guess that depends how you quantify it. But Gareth is incredibly memorable. Just the whole Terminus stuff was incredibly memorable. It's at the height of the show's, the height of its powers. Might be the most watched episodes ever. Just, yeah. I think Gareth is a good character, and I'd put, no, not love. More. I might put him here. Bob. Blue Sky Bob. I'm tainted meat, you stupid pricks. Um, Again, Bob's very memorable because I've been watching season 5. I liked Bob a lot. He was a good substitute for comic Dale, who is in the comic the original tainted meat person. Um, I thought his death was very sad. It sort of like, but it was sort of, I don't want to say perfect, but it was his death was right. It came at the right time. His character lasted for the right amount of time. It was like half a season and a bit longer. And it was a memorable death too. So yeah, I think Bob is a good character. And I put him next to the guy who ate his leg. Abraham. Abraham's great. I love him. I'm going to put him up there. Doesn't need to be said. I think. Okay. So with the whole Negan lineup thing, they killed Abraham off in the season 6 finale, and then the next episode later, which was the season 7 premiere, they killed Glenn. They didn't need to do that, especially because they left Glenn's death a cliffhanger. We saw a POV of Negan killing someone. No. I'm getting that wrong, aren't I? The end of season 6, we see Abraham's death. It's a POV of him looking up at Negan, and Negan's whacking him with the bat. But it's not revealed who Negan chose until a year later when season 7 came out, and it's revealed that Abraham was the recipient of that beatdown, and then they surprised us later in the episode with Glenn dying. If they were insistent, not that anyone cares. This is how I would have done it. If they are insistent on killing 2 people there, kill Abraham in the finale of season 6. Kill Glenn in the premiere of season 7. That way, you don't have a cliffhanger. And a cliffhanger just... Well, this one just annoyed people. Because everyone knew it was going to be Glenn. But Glenn had just had a cliffhanger fake out death with the garbage bin, the dustbin. Yeah, it was just annoying. Not badly done, really. I made for good TV. It was just on a meta level. It was quite annoying. This guy, I can remember his face. He is a saviour, and is around after Negan loses in season 9, but I don't know who he is. Eric, that was Aaron's husband, I believe. I mean, he was fine. I have literally nothing to say about this guy. I'm just gonna... More memorable. Yeah. Oh, this girl, I believe this actress has just passed away, unfortunately. Let me Google her name. Character name was Addie. The Walking Dead. She was portrayed by Kelly Mack. Yeah. Fortunately, she died a month ago, 2nd of August 2025. That's a real shame. A real terrible shame. She was very young. So my thoughts and prayers are going out to her family. So I don't want to say anything too negative about this character, but she wasn't very memorable. She was one of the heads, I believe, on the Whisperer lineup. It's probably her most memorable. She was friendly with Henry. I honestly don't have much to say about her, so I might just put her down there. I remember Olivia though. Yeah. I mean, there's the thing about Negan joking that she's fucking a big woman. It's not very nice, but it's whatever. Yeah, I remember this woman. She's in season 8 and 9, I think. 7, 8, 9. She's married to Earl the Blacksmith. I don't remember her name. They adopt the boy. Um, who was someone's baby. Oh, she was the baby of a whisperer, wasn't she? I don't remember her name, so I'm gonna have to put her there. I remember she dies. Remember her name. I remember this dude's name. Weirdly, he's called Scott, and I know that because he either still is, or at least he was, married to Sneakwa Martin Green. This guy is at Alexandria from pretty much the start of Alexandria, and he lasts right up until the end. I think at some point you just don't see him again. But he is a background guy who has a few lines for Alexandria. I guess I could put him next to Eric. He's called Scott. It's called Scott. I don't remember. Oh wait, that's not. Um, is this the son of the person in charge of the Commonwealth? This lady, Governor Milton. Yeah, might be. What's he called? No, no, it's not, is it? That's not that guy. Where's that guy then? Not him. Not him. Is this guy on the list? Uh, there, I'm confusing him with this guy. I don't know who this guy is then. I'm gonna be completely honest. I have absolutely no idea. This person here is called Arat or Arat. I've never heard the name before. I'm sure it's a fairly normal name elsewhere in the world, but I remember Negan calling their name. I'm just gonna, yeah. I don't know who this is. I don't remember this person at all. Who is that person? This person is not on The Walking Dead. I mean, they must be. I don't remember. Reg, Deanna's husband. Who's Deanna? Um, he's fine. Let's put him with the other Alexandrians. This guy's a saviour. Is he called Fat Tony? Something like that. He's called Fat. Negan calls him Fat something. I don't know his name. I have no clue who this guy is. No clue. This guy. Why did I say guy? I mean, guy in a non-gendered way. I have no clue who this person is. And when I actually said that, I was actually looking at this person, but I have just remembered who this guy is. Oh, she from Oceanside. Oh, I don't even think we've touched any Oceanside people yet. I'm gonna have no clue. Yeah, sorry, I just don't. I just don't. I remembered who this person is now. He is Henry's brother that Morgan befriends, and maybe Morgan starts to train with a stick. He's in season 7 and is killed. Is he called Luke? Nah, Luke's one of Magda's group. Ben, he's called Benjamin. Aha, I remember. You can go. I need to tidy this bit up a bit. No, I don't. These don't need tier. Well, just meh, and these are just who. I mean, this is Maggie's and Glenn's kid, but I don't know. He's got more to do in Dead City. He's older. He's more of a character. Like, this is just whatever. This guy I remember being around in season but I don't have much of a clue, to be honest. Remember Spencer, Deanna and Reg's kid. He dies. Negan kills him? Yeah, Negan stabs him, right? I remember him fucking up a lot. Um, so I wouldn't say he's a bad character because he's not supposed to be a good, quote unquote, good character. Mm, I'm gonna put him up here. I remember Ron. Ron was bad. I don't think it was particularly well acted. I don't think it was particularly well written. It was just annoying and sort of there in the early Alexandria days. This guy, I have no clue who this guy is. I don't recognise his face at all. No idea. I remember Sam. Oh God. I mean, he's yeah, I guess. Yeah, I remember this guy. He's called Eastman. He's he was in that season 6 episode of Morgan. The whole the Morgan only episode. Um, my laptop just fell. That was a great episode. Oh, that was a really great episode of television. Its placement within the series, I remember being a little annoying. I think it's when the Glenn dumpster, when Glenn dumpster gate was happening. The Morgan episode was right after, so we had to wait another week. Um, but I think he's a good character. I'm not gonna lie. I think yeah. Oh boy. Okay. Negan. Negan. I have things to say about Negan. So, Negan was incredibly entertaining, incredibly well acted, most of the time well written, but therein lies my problem with the character. Um, they try to, what's the word? Retcon, especially in Dead City, they've tried to retcon Negan's past discrepancies. They've tried to sort of whitewash some of his worse, more evil doings in the early Negan years. I remember at the time, not at the time actually. So after Negan loses, I remember there being this big push. It was on like Talking Dead and like interviews and things where people would always say, well, if we followed Negan from the beginning, Rick would be the bad guy. Which is just untrue. Negan is an evil man that has done some good things. Rick is a good man that has done some evil things. The motivation behind all of Rick's actions and Daryl's and Carol's and Michonne's and all the main protagonists are family oriented. Negan's purely selfish, purely maniacal, purely evil. Negan kept sex slaves, for example. He forced women who were his underlings, his servants, to marry him in order for their loved ones to succeed in the savior hierarchy. That's coercion. And yet, they have tried to say in subsequent seasons and TV shows that Negan never raped anyone. But he did. Negan never killed children. But he did. How many fathers and brothers have you killed, Maggie? Yeah, okay, but Maggie never went into a town and slaughtered it for the fun of it. Maggie's killed Maggie's killed fathers and brothers for self-defense or yeah, self-defense. Negan's done it because he wanted to take things people had. I think Negan's a great character, and I am going to put him in the love tier. But I think this almost mass retconning of some of his character traits and his character history needs to stop. Like, I'm going to put him next to Judith here. They had a nice dynamic, actually. And I will say, in the main show, when Negan is let out of prison by Carol to do the Whisperer thing, he does redeem himself a lot. He doesn't fully redeem himself. He cannot redeem himself fully. But he does a lot of reparations for his war crimes. And I quite like his dynamic with Maggie in season 11, I guess it is. And where they end it in season 11, where Maggie says, I will never forgive you. Does she say, I will never forgive you, but I will try? Or, I will never forgive you, but you can stay if you want, kind of thing? And then some days I can't look at you, get over it, and some days I can, that's fine. She says basically that, right? And I like that. Negan has done enough for him to exist in these people's world again. But he can never do enough to fully redeem himself. As much as the writers keep trying. Anyway. I was going to say Corey, but that's the actor, Corey Hawkins. No, this is Heath. Heath disappeared. I believe the actor got another job, so they had to write him out. But they never did anything with him after that. Heath was around in season 6, beginning of season 6, and I actually quite liked him. He had quite a fun dynamic with Glenn. Like when they raided the Siren base, Saviour's satellite base, sorry, not Siren. Him and Glenn, who had never killed anyone before, had a fun dynamic, and I quite liked Heath. I'm going to put him here, but I'm also going to Google what happened to Heath, The Walking Dead, because he disappeared with his RV during a supply run in season 7 of The Walking Dead. There was something to do with the CRM, and that wasn't there. Did Angela Kang, the showrunner, confirm? Yeah, apparently it was confirmed that Jadis traded him to the CRN. Although it's not in the show, it's been confirmed by someone involved in the show. Alright, that's a shame that he could have made a cool cameo in The Ones Who Live, but don't matter. Yeah, I do recognise her. Is she called Cynthia? She's from Oceanside, I think. Cynthia the Walking Dead. I'm looking on my phone. Yeah, that's her. Oh, Cindy. Cindy. That's it. Cindy the Walking Dead. Yeah. I don't remember. Does she die? She's played by Sydney Park. Um. Does she die? Um. Don't know. I don't know if she does or not. Uh. Meh. Like. This is Earl. Earl the blacksmith. He's from Hilltop. Yeah. He dies, right? But he goes out swinging or something. He's fine. He's cool. He's more memorable than his wife. Wherever his wife was. Did I put, yeah. I remember him having a thing where he was drunk. I mean, I thought he was a good character for his time on the show. In a similar way to Otis, actually, they kind of complement each other well. They were involved in some decently sized storylines, and they were around some of the bigger events. Like he adopted the baby of the Whisperers. He was at the beginning of season 9. He was around the Savior stuff. Earl was around, and he had some good moments. That's about it. Jesus. I don't know what to say about Jesus, really. Unfortunately, they never gave him much, and I know the actor Tom Payne left because he was somewhat frustrated with the direction of his character. I remember his intro episode very well. Was it season 6, wasn't it? Yeah. Just after the mid-season. I remember him giving Daryl and Rip the runaround, very Benny Hill-esque. Very fun. He was quite instrumental in the Saviour War, season 7. And then in season 8, they just sort of dicked him around. And it became annoying because Jesus was a great character in the comics. I'm going to put Jesus up here. This guy's a saviour. He was called Jared, I think. He was one of the saviours that would go to the kingdom. He was a scoundrel. Has one of the faces you really want to punch. No, I think Jared's a good character. I think he's a good villain. Someone you really love to hate. And, oh yeah, I don't have anything else to say on that, really. Here we come to the king, King Zeke, Ezekiel himself. Well, it's been a while since I've had one, but I love the king. He is a favourite of mine. I'm glad he survived till the end. I think Ezekiel is one of the heads on spikes by the Whisperers in the comics. I'm glad they didn't go that route. I'm glad he didn't die of cancer when he had the cancer scare in the last couple of seasons. Not sure why they included that. I guess just a bit of depth or peril. I guess I don't know. It didn't really add much, but it didn't take away from anything either. I guess you can still get terminally ill in the apocalypse. So, yeah, he became the governor or the mayor of the Commonwealth right at the end. Right, I really liked his relationship with Carol. I thought that worked very well. Him and Jerry were great together. Of course, there's Shiva. I thought the Kingdom were a breath of fresh air in the show. I think Khary Payton is an amazing actor. Yeah, he's just one of my favourites. Next up, we have Dwight, one of the main saviors. Dwight was, yeah, he's fine. He's cool. He had a good arc. Villain into sort of anti-hero. Um, I actually quite liked his transition to Fear the Walking Dead as well. Again, I never finished that show, so I don't know how Dwight turned out. But I quite liked him in it. And I actually thought he was a bit of a badass in Fear the Walking Dead. Yeah, do you know what? I think Dwight's a good character. It's better. Yeah, I'm going to put him there. She was a saviour too. I think she was called Laura. She was one of the ones that joined the good side at the end of the Savior War. Was she murdered by the people by Oceanside? Don't really remember. She had a bit of a thing with someone, I remember that. Don't even remember who that was. I don't know. She's alright. Sort of, yeah. Stephen Ogg. Fuck, what was this guy called? I just want to call him Stephen Ogg. He was a great character. He was really good as Negan's right hand man. Um, in fact, he would have been like Simon. That's it. I just remembered Simon. He would. I think he'd have been fine as even Negan. Like if they ever cast him to play Negan, I think he'd have done a good job at that. I thought he was perfectly suited to be, you know, the next big thing in the Saviors. You know, the hand of the king, to use a Game of Thrones term. Yeah, he was a great villain. To be fair, and even he was a bit more than Negan could handle sometimes. So I'm going to put Simon. I'm going to put him next to Gareth. Henry. Yeah. You should have been Carl. Um, except Carl shouldn't have had a head on a spike. They gave Carl's story with Lydia to Henry, which rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, including myself. But I didn't hate him. I actually thought he was a genuinely good character. I thought he was decently written too. Like, he died at the right time, I will say. They didn't need to drag Carl's story out to the end for Henry. Like, he was only a surrogate for Carl in one storyline. But, like, do you know what? I'm a bit of a Henry apologist, and I think he's alright. I'm going to put him up here. Yeah, this guy's in season 10, right? Is he called Virgil? He's the one Michonne goes with to the island? Blood Island? Maybe I'm just pulling that out of my ass. He promises they've got guns and weapons of war on his island. I can't remember what the trap is. He traps Michonne on the island, right? And she starts hallucinating and stuff. It's a really good episode. It's Michonne's leaving episode. It shows up earlier, but he's mainly in that one. Yeah, I mean, he's alright. He's kind of forgettable. I'm going to put him here. This woman becomes leader of Oceanside in the last couple of seasons. And I remember her. She's called Rachel. And I remember her being bad. I'm going to be honest. There's a bit where. Is it season 9 or 10? Where they finally signed the charter that Michonne has drawn up of all the communities. I think Michonne and whoever signs it for Alexandria, Tara signs it for Hilltop, someone signs it for the Kingdom maybe, and then this woman, Rachel, signs it for Oceanside. And everyone has said something nice, there's a nice scene, and then she just looks at them and says, Oceanside's down. And I want to barf every time I hear that or think about that. She's to go in there. She's terrible. I remember this guy, Richard, from the Kingdom. He's either season 7 or 8. He does die. Maybe Daryl kills him? He really wants to throw off the yoke of the Saviors. More, and he does quite early on, I think. He's quite proactive about it, but in doing so, it's going to be a detriment to the kingdom's safety because the kingdom actually have a working relationship with the saviors more so than other communities do. Um, like the guy who does the pickups for the saviors for the kingdom, is he called Jared instead? Maybe either one. That guy, that Lieutenant of Negan, is a lot more amenable than Simon or Negan himself. So this guy, Richard is quite proactive on wanting to rebel and fight back, and in doing so causes a lot of trouble. Yeah, do you know? I remember finding him entertaining at the time, um, but he's not. You know, he's a bit there. I'm going to put him there. This fucker, Nicholas, causes Noah's death, and what a great memorable death that was. But Nicholas causes Noah's death and then nearly causes Glenn to die under the dumpster. He was bad news from the get go, but it wasn't badly written. I don't know if I necessarily find him a. Yeah, do you know what? I would put him as a good character, quote unquote. I would put him sort of up here next to this guy. It's getting a bit big for my screen. Um, Enid. A bit pointless after Carl died. Um, a little bit pointless while Carl was alive too. I guess her point of being in the show was to be Carl's sort of first, you know, love. I guess Carl's first romance, which is true. Unfortunately, it ends up being his only romance, whereas Lydia should have been his future one. Um, yeah, Enid's fine. I don't really have. She's good. I don't. She's entertaining sometimes. She's not bad. I don't really have much to say about her. I'm gonna put her above Henry. This person, I have no idea. I think they might be from Oceanside, but I don't know, and I'm not gonna dwell on it. This was Dr. Pete from Alexandria, who's an abusive husband. Ah, wait a minute. He's an abusive husband. You belong with Ed in your own tier. In the Ed tier. You fuckholes. Um, okay, Noah. Yeah, Noah didn't. He wasn't on the show long enough. He was on the show for what? Less than a full season? He dies in season 5, right? Near the end? Not enough. Similar to Barb in a way. Noah was fun. I like Noah. He was sort of just felt like a real guy. Quite earnest, quite a bit meek. He just sort of felt like your everyman. I like him. Yeah, I remember this guy. He looks a bit like someone playing Ted Bundy in a biopic about Ted Bundy. But I remember him in season 9. Negan gets out of his cage and spends a day out and about. This guy, who's obviously grown up with stories of the saviors, is trying to um, help Negan relive the glory days, and in doing so, kills a couple of innocent people and is a psychopath. It's kind of forgettable, to be honest. I'm going to shove him down here. I'm going to move Karen right now. Deanna. I liked Deanna. She had a good death. She got bit, and the way she went out fighting, and Alexandria was overrun. She was a really fun character. What does she last about a season? From midway season 5 to midway season 6. Yeah, I think she has quite a good legacy on the show. More entertaining than Enid. Kef. I might put her up here. Aaron. Well, we talked about Eugene and Gabriel having a glow up. Aaron's great. Aaron is a fantastic character throughout the whole show, from when he is introduced midway season 5 right up until the end. He deserves his flowers. I'm going to put him above Morgan, and he's going up there. I've not put one up there for a while, have I? In this row. Diane, she's of the the Kingdom and Hilltop. I think she's given some comedic relief sometimes. She doesn't say much, but every once in a while she says a line and it's a comedic line. I think she's a bit. No, maybe not. Kind of over here. Yeah, that mer category is getting a bit full up now. Oh, okay. Well, we got Jerry. I think. I don't know who I said this about earlier, where I said he would have been easy. Oh, it was Daryl I talked about. Daryl would have been easy to keep one note throughout the whole season. Jerry's the same, but in a comedic relief way. Jerry starts off as a comedic relief, but he's also quite cringe. Um, and I just think that was the writers at the time not writing humour very well. But he was also allowed time to grow and develop a personality beyond humour. He was also put in more stories to give him some depth. I, I I'm gonna put Jerry in the love category. I think he is great. Um, yeah, I think he goes there next to Eugene. I think that fits quite well. We got. I don't. He's the wolf. He's the leader of the wolves. I think he's called Owen. I think that's his character name. He's only in what, 2 episodes. He's at the end of season 5 because Morgan encounters him, and he's in the episode where the wolves attack Alexandria. I really liked his character. I thought his dynamic with Denise for that episode was really interesting and quite a cool um, character study, if that makes sense. I think he's a good character, and I remember watching that episode, and when he dies, he actually dies saving Denise. I remember thinking, I wish he could have stuck around a bit more, because it would have been an interesting story to see this feral human being try and rehabilitate. Rehabilitate? Is that the right word? Reclimatize to quote unquote civilization. And yeah, I wanted to see that. That could have been a cool web series as well. So yeah, I think he's a good character. I'm gonna put him here next to Eastman. This is Jerry's wife. She's called Nabila. Hmm. She's nice because when Jerry's a family man, it's quite sweet. But she's kind of a nothing character, you know. I'm gonna put her here. This guy, he runs Hilltop. What's his name? The actor's Xander Berkeley. I'm about to say Jerry. We literally just talked about Jerry. Xander Berkeley, TWD. You played. Oh, Gregory, of course, Gregory. The spineless coward leader of Hilltop. Yeah, highly entertaining. Got a good death too. Maggie fucking hangs him. What, in season 9? Yeah, I like Jerry. I just called him Jerry again. Called Gregory. I'm gonna shove him. Yeah. Alden. Former Saviour, he's kind of. His character is supposed to represent the Saviours as a whole. You know, coming over to quote unquote the good side. He's sort of. His character's supposed to represent, the group of them doing that. I mean, he has a relationship with Enid. It's sort of just there. He's just sort of just there. He's involved in a lot of the action. I know Maggie likes him. But, like, he survives a surprisingly long amount of time sort of doing nothing. Not doing nothing, that's wrong. He survives a surprising amount of time, but just sort of being a presence. I'm going to put him here. I remember Tobin. I thought Tobin was quite funny. I remember rooting for him and Carol when they had a little thing going on. Tobin's gonna go. Yeah, over Otis, over Milton, over Eastman. Yeah. This guy is the doctor at the Hilltop. I can't remember what he's called. He might be called Holden or Harlaw, something like that. I'm gonna put him in who? I do remember he gives Maggie a scan when she's pregnant. I don't remember what else. Don't remember his name. Don't remember what else. This is Deanna's other son, Aiden. I don't think he was particularly bad. He's a dick, and he was an antagonist, but he wasn't bad. Um, I guess he's gonna be a meh. He can go with next to his dad. Dr. Denise. I thought Dr. Denise ruled, and I wanted her to live longer. She had an arc of her own. She had a relationship of her own with Tara. She had stuff to do. And she got shot in the eye in a really surprising death, and yeah. I liked Dr. Denise a lot. I'm going to put her next to Noah. Jadis or Anne. Oh my god. They pulled it back with her. They introduced the fucking Garbage Pail Kids. Season, what, 7? And it was weird, uncomfortable, annoying, and everyone rolled their eyes whenever they appeared on screen. But after the Saviour stuff, they gave Anne more to work with. She sort of becomes more of a normal human being. She obviously saves Rick, although then puts him in a life of slavery. And there's then an antagonist in The Ones Who Live. Do you know what? Fuck her. She's going down there. She's awful. I don't have any fond memories of her being on the show. Mercer. There's probably a few season 10 and 11 characters here that I will forget. But Mercer I do not forget. I did quite like Mercer. I thought he was a good character. I'm going to put him here. He had a presence on the show, and he was a good inclusion for, you know, as the show was winding down. And he made Princess happy. This is the kid. This is the governor's of the Commonwealth's kid. I think he's called Sebastian. He was a twat. I don't think he was a good character. He was more of a plot device for certain other characters like Daryl. I think I'm just going to go meh, but he might be near the top of meh. I do not recognise this guy in the slightest. This guy was with Maggie when she came back to the show. That was him. Him. Maybe her. Don't remember his name. I'm pretty sure he died in the same episode he debuted in. Yeah, it's a hoot. Lydia. Lydia. Yeah, I liked Lydia. I liked her arc. I don't think she was vital to the show in any way. Oh no, that's not true. The Whisper stuff. The Whisper storyline is among my favourites in the show. And I think she obviously was pretty much the catalyst for it. Yeah, I like Lydia. I'm going to put her up here. Kelly. Oh. Kelly. A lot of people didn't like this group when they came in season 9. I did. I liked them all. I thought they were all pretty fun. Unfortunately, Connie, who was the standout of the group, Luke, who had the most personality of the group, Yumiko and Magna, who also had more personality than Kelly. Kelly suffers as the least of the group. And for that, I'm going to put her at the top of meh, I think, behind T-Dog. Oh, Alpha. I love the Whisper stuff. I thought it was great. And as I just mentioned, it's one of my favourite storylines, if not my favourite storyline. Maybe I can do a storyline tier list. I can try and break them down. I'm going to put Alpha up here. In love, and I'm just looking at this thinking, does Dale need to be up in the... I don't know if I meant to put Dale there, did I? So I'm going to move Dale down. I'm going to put him next to Beth. Yeah. Next up, oh, I remember this guy. Was he called Ozzy? He's only in a couple of episodes. He's one of the heads. He's part of that group that they hire. Were they called the Highwaymen? I think that's what they were. Yeah, I'm just going to shove it down here. Yumiko. I liked Yumiko. I thought she was quite good in the Commonwealth storyline. I'm going to put her up there. Negan's wife, Annie. I think she's a pointless inclusion. I don't think she was particularly well written or memorable. I'm going to put her in bad. This woman. Oh, she was in that episode with the children. The killer children. Sean and Daryl have to kill a bunch of psycho kids. That was a bad episode. He's going there too. This kid was the one in the super scary mask that appeared with Maggie for some reason and then never put it on again and lost all of his aura and anything interesting with the character. So that in itself is bad. I think this is Lucille. Is it not? This is the Lucille. I'll just Google it. Lucille. She's in the Negan episode. Lucille. Green wig? Yeah. This is Lucille. Look, I don't really remember that episode very much. I've only watched it once. She's going to go in the meh for me. The Negan storyline's pretty good, but she as a character was pretty meh. This guy, Creepy Dante. He was around for a fair bit. He was a whisperer, a spy. Yeah. Yeah. Meh. Meh. This just looks like a photo of someone's paintball group. Like a cropped paintball group. I don't know who the fuck that is. I'm gonna be honest. I don't. I have no idea. Who is that? Oh, was it one of her? I don't really remember her either. She had a couple of people. Yeah, look. They were twins, right? Or they were called twins, something like that. Either way, they weren't characters. Um, this kid, I do remember. He's in that episode with the Ted Bundy guy and Negan. This guy kills him and his mum. I remember this kid because he has no lines, and yet several scenes with Negan when Negan talks to him. Um, and if you aren't aware, in television, if you give an actor lines, you have to pay them more. So you'll notice a lot of side characters, guest characters, like basically not jumped up extras, that sounds mean. Like extras obviously cannot talk. Like I remember this kid acting across from Negan, Jeffrey D. Morgan, but he should have been speaking. There should have been dialogue between them, but he wasn't allowed to say anything, so it was really obvious. And because of that, I think it's bad. Siddiq. I like Siddiq. I liked what he turned into. It's a shame we had to lose Carl to gain Siddiq. But I did like him a lot, you know. I'm gonna put Siddiq up here. Connie. I'm going to put Connie in this section. This tier, I'm going to put her up here. Connie is great. She was great for Daryl. Daryl's the what I will call the continuation of the humanization of Daryl Dixon. They should have ended up together. They should have done. I like Daryl's relationship with Isabel in the spin-off, but Connie and Daryl should have been. Well, I guess there's still time technically. I mean, the best boy in all the universe. Come on. Don't have to say anything about that. I have no idea who this woman is. I think, as I said earlier, she was with Maggie when she came back, but I don't know that for sure. So she's going there. RJ. Oh my god. Are you the brave man? RJ was a pointless inclusion for the show. Michonne did not need to be pregnant when Rick left. That was a pointless reveal. It would have been fine if it was just Judith. The kid was not given very many lines, and none of them were well. I know he was only young, but like, come on. I don't know who this next person is. In the slightest, I don't know who the next person is. This kind of looks like a character from a video game, but like the image looks like something from a video game. Yumiko's brother from the Commonwealth. Don't remember his name. I'll put him in. Meh. The fuck is that guy? I don't remember him. Did he come? No, I have no idea. Beta. I liked Beta because I like the actor, which now I can't remember his name. He's in Sons of Anarchy. He's not Ryan Dunn, because that's from Jackass. What is this guy called? Ryan Hurst. That's it. I like him in Sons of Anarchy. He's great. And he's good as Beta too. Really quite memorable, I think. Really imposing. Character-wise, not as good as Alpha. Don't get me wrong. Where did I put Alpha? It was high up, wasn't it? Yeah. But I think Beta's pretty damn good regardless. I'm going to put Beta up here. We're on the home stretch now, folks. I remember this character being called Georgie. She invites Maggie to go stay with her. I'm guessing she was just invented so Maggie could be written out of the show. In which case, I guess serves a purpose. But I think it's a pretty shit purpose. Governor Milton, to me, she's kind of Deanna Light. But I do think she was alright, character-wise. I'm going to put her there. I do not remember this guy. No, I have no clue. This looks like a shot from another TV show, to be honest. I don't remember this Whisperer. I'm assuming it's a Whisperer. Is it Gamma's sister? In which case Adam is the child. I don't know. This guy. Fuck. He's great. What was his name? TWD. The Commonwealth. Leader. He's not the leader. Oh. Lance Hornsby. That's it, Hornsby. Yeah, he is great. He's a great villain for season 10, I suppose. I'm going to put him next to his boss, but slightly high up. Princess. A lot of people didn't like Princess. She was kind of a pointless inclusion in the last 2 seasons. But I had a soft spot for Princess. I thought she was sweet. I liked her relationship with Milton. Not Milton, Mercer. I'm going to put her up here. This guy was called Pope. He was the season 10 villain, the Reapers. That was a bad storyline, wasn't it? This guy was bad, right? Just a bad villain. And this was his right hand man. I think he was called Carver. So I'm putting him in the same spot. This lady. Junebug? Is that what Eugene calls her? I think she's a meh. Magna. I like Magna. People gave her a hard time as a character. But I actually thought she was alright. Where's Yumiko? Yumiko's there. I'm gonna put her and Yumiko together. This guy was a Commonwealth person. I think he was only around for an episode or two. Was he the guy leading an assault on the apartment block that Negan was staying in? I think that's him, but I don't know for certain, so I can't judge. Oh, there's 2 popes. I think this was the Mad Priest, or whatever. Was with Pope's crew. Leah. Daryl's first one of 2 romances on the show. I know people were, including me, were pulling for Connie and Daryl, but they never actually went anywhere with it. They just had chemistry. There was no actual romance involved in the script, you know. Daryl's first romance was with this Leah person. The second one was with Isabel. And this one is bad. It's pointless. She was just used as a villain for season 11. Ugh. Season 10, sorry. Yeah. Bad. Just bad. Pope. You're still bad. Luke. I liked Luke. Luke was... Oh, for fuck's sake. Luke was fun. Luke was a fun inclusion. He was more entertaining than pretty much the rest of his group. We've got a couple more to do. Let's put you with your tag team partner. Gamma. Gamma was a fun whisperer. She had fun stuff with Aaron, Carol. Yeah, I'm going to shove her up here. And last but not least, the best girl in the world, go with the best boy in the world, Dog. Shiva, take your place on the throne. Oh, next to your king and Doggo. Wow, there we go. That's a lot of characters. I mean, I don't know if any of them are going to be that surprising to people. I'm imagining probably most of them are where the majority of people will put them. I'm still going to expect backlash about Sasha. I just don't like her, and I didn't like her as a character. There's not much else I can say about that. I mean, if we just go through some of them, if you just go through the list here. Of course, in my favourites, I've got Daryl, Carol, Rick, Michonne, Herschel, Ezekiel, and as a bit of a joke, Shiva and Dog. In the love column, which doesn't have a lot, I thought it would have more. Glenn, Father Gabriel, Aaron, Morgan, Merle, Judith, Negan, Maggie, Connie, Eugene, Jerry, Abraham, the Governor, Shane, and Alpha. In the good characters list tier, characters that I just like. Characters, these are ones I think are great. These are ones I like. I've got Carl, Tyrese, Rosita, Jesus, Beth, Dale, Deanna, Heath, Bob, Sadiq, Dwight, Simon, Noah, Denise, Gregory, Gareth, Beta, Yumiko, Luke, Magna, Mercer, Lydia, Princess, Enid, Henry, Lizzie, Owen, Hornsby, Governor Milton, Tobin, Eastman, Dr. Milton. I'll put you two together again. Otis, Earl, Nicholas, Jared. Jared or Gareth? In fact, that guy's not on this list. That saviour who's actually the leader of his little troop. The ones that deal with the saviors. The sect of the saviors that deal with the kingdom. This guy's not on the list. I think he might be called Gareth. In my meh column, which is by far my biggest, this might upset people, but I've got Tara, Alden, T-Dog, Kelly, Jim, Gamma, Spencer, Sophia, Sebastian, Richard, Claimer Joe, Oscar, Axel, Diane, Virgil. I think we said her name was Clara. Officer Dawn, Martinez, Tomas, Sam and his haircut, Eric, Reg, Scott, Aidan, Amy, Olivia, Nabila, Laura, Addie, Mika, Dr. Jenna, Jackie. Don't know. I don't know, do I? Yeah, he might. See, I must have changed them. The parameters for this because I know where some of them fit story wise. Morgan's son, the woman the governor uses, Earl's wife, Savior. So yeah, he must get done. And we got Big Tiny, Ted Bundy. I don't know his name either though. No, keeping him there. Arat, Benjamin, Young Herschel, Guy, Gal, Cindy, Karen, Highwayman Ozzy, Lucille, Dante, Yumiko's brother. I can't remember her name. She's got quite a lot to do in last season. I can't remember her name. She gets with Eugene, I suppose, doesn't she? Fuck's sake. In the bad list. Oh no, I've got to put her there. In the bad list, I've got Jadis, Sasha, Andrea, Laurie, Morales, Ron, Rachel, Annie. This woman who I don't know, just remember her being in a bad episode. I think he's called Elijah in Maggie's annoying bad group. Lost all of his aura. Kid who wasn't allowed to talk. RJ, Georgie, Pope, Carver, the Mad Priest, Leah and the Pope again. I mean, I know some of these names. Do I? Dwayne. Dwayne can go up to Meh. She was called Lily. She was Tara's sister. She can go up to Meh. Don't know. I've remembered he's called Fat Joey. Go up there. Don't know. I don't know. And then in the Ed tier, we've got the two bastards, Ed and Pete, the wife beaters. Well, there we have it. This has taken me 2 hours. This is the first one I've ever done. Granted, I started with a big one, but yeah, wow, that's taken me a long time. If you have watched this whole thing, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be doing more of these, so be sure to continue checking them out if you liked it. I'm not just going to be doing Walking Dead ones. I'm going to be doing things for well, loads of things I like. I like a lot of TV. I like a lot of movies. I like a lot of books. Walking Dead was a nice, easy one to start with me. Start on for me. There was a new episode of a TV show today, so it's been in my mind today. So if you enjoyed it, thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see a specific one, please let me know, and I might even do it. That'd be great. Thank you very much. Peace.